This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, Andy.
Okay. So before starting the actual concept called data science, we need to understand the basic concept of statistics. As I just mentioned during demo session, programming language, domain knowledge, and statistics. These three are three different parts which you need to learn before to say you are a data scientist. So what we do now in the sense we are going to take the programming language as well as statistics hand in hand. That means one day we'll go with statistics, the next day we'll go with the Python code. Whatever you learn in statistics, the same thing we'll try to execute in Python code so that both will be covered. And once you complete a basic concept, maybe for 3 days or 5 days, then you start giving us basic assignments to to understand how your statistics is going to be address any domain knowledge. So the basic exercise is helping you to enrich your analytic skills. So this is the passion what we are trying to do. If I take only the statistics upfront, then Python after that, then if I take one assignment after programming language, then definitely the people will forget. It's a human tendency. If you're not going to practice for some time, we forget. So we'll go hand in hand. Now, today we'll try to understand the basic theoretical concepts of statistics. Why we required statistics for data science? Anyone have any or data analytics in a basic terminology? Anyone have any comment on this? Please make sure yourself unmute. It's a two-way communication for entire journey. If it's a 2 months or 3 months or 4 months, it's a two-way communication. Um, the intention here is you need to think and answer. That is the importance what I'm trying to say. Why we require statistics for data science? I have a programming language. If I write one line syntax, I'll get outcome. Then why should I learn statistics? I'm not asking what is statistics. I'm asking why it is required. If I go to Google or a Chat GPT, I will if I write one code, just let me know how to do forecasting in Python. It will give 3 to 5 lines of programming. I mean, a code. The same code I'll copy into Python. The Python will give the outcome. Then why should I learn? Any guess? Wild guess. Team.
For historical data?
Historical data we are getting from database,
Okay.
which is a data warehousing. On top of historical data, you are applying your statistics. Sorry, your programming language. You are getting outcome. Then why should I learn statistics?
It's like analyzing the future what kind of deals, or what kind of, for example, if you take like weather, what kind of weather we can going to be forecast in future. So to
And the
guess.
historical data is there. If I write something in ChatGPT, the ChatGPT is going to give the programming code to believe yourself. So you're writing some code, you're getting some outcome. Are you sure the code or the outcome what you received is the expected one? You don't know. Next, imagine that you are a doctor and the human is coming to you. He will check the pulse and he'll start giving some tablets for a disease. Are you getting my point? When he check the pulse, he understand how is our human body is working. Do you think the same kind of activity can handle by some other human who is not a doctor? Imagine the person who is a doctor, he can understand how the pulse is running. The person who is not a doctor, he may not answer for that question. Am I right?
Yeah, correct.
Similarly, similarly, you are a doctor for a data to believe the outcome what you received from from the programming language or with the help of your historical data or ABC locations. You need to believe yourself. You need that statistics is going to be support. Hey boss, the outcome what you received from the programming language with the help of your historical data is the right one, or is the outcome you received by chance. So to believe yourself and to predict something with the help of a small historical data. The doctor is taking small quantity of the blood and is trying to do experiments on the small quantity of the blood and is trying to diagnose the entire body, whether we are in good condition or bad condition. In the same passion, I'm going to take historical data, which is a recent past data, and I start doing the diagnostics on top of the historical data. I'm trying to predict what is happening right now. I'll start doing diagnosis what happened in the past, which is wrong. Then I'm going to forecast about future. Hope I made you clear what I'm doing right now. I'm a researcher. I'm a doctor to doctor for the data. Now, what is statistics actually? In sense, it is nothing but a art of learning from the data. I'll start doing the research on data. I will get some insights which others cannot see. If I, as a doctor, if I see, I can see the blood. As a human who is not a doctor, I can see the blood. But the way what doctors see and what the normal person sees are different. Doctors start doing different type of experiments on top of this data. So based on the complaint which is given by the patient, the doctor will start doing different experiments. The different experiments are nothing but statistics. So if the patient is coming with some issue, like I have a fever, different one type of experiment. If the patient is coming and if you say that I have a cough, a different experiment. So similarly, when I have the same data, I don't have different data. I have the same data which is available in my data warehousing, and when the company is coming with a type of a problem statement, accordingly my experiment is going to change. That experiment is nothing but statistics. It is nothing but an art of learning from the data. It is concerned with a collection of data and a description and analysis often leads to a conclusion with a summary and visualization. In a single sentence, I can say it is nothing but a summary of your data. Clear? Any questions from anyone? Now, there are two type of terminology you're going to see in real time life. So when someone is trying to give a line of statement or lines of statement with reference of some graphical representation called visualization, then we will start with a describe. I am describing uh, the male ratio versus female ratio is going to be so and so. On top of this line, there will be some visualization. So when there is a graphical representation, we will use a term called describe. If I have some table representation, maybe I'm giving now a set of rows and columns. If I'm giving some table representation to my management, I will say I will use a word called summarizing. So these two are keywords. It is these keywords are helping me to identify whether I am writing the slides with reference of a table or a graphical representation. Is it clear? So there are different type of data we are going to see: primary data and secondary data. Primary data means on premises you are collecting your data and you are on ground. For example, nowadays the companies are doing layoff. Maybe take it example like Infosys, Wipro, or IBM. Now you are on ground. You made a set of 10 questions or 20 questions like exit formality to the employee, and you start asking the employees, maybe directly with paper and pen, or you are rolling a question and paper uh, in an email. So what are maybe like a survey you're conducting? That is called a primary data. You are on ground, you are collecting the data to the end user. The end user is responding to your questions. So that is called primary data. Secondary data means the data you are getting from a different sources, not directly. Maybe LinkedIn, feedback about a customer. So you are getting from LinkedIn, or you may getting from some social medias. So that means you are not actually active. You are getting the data from different sources, which is not actually you are collecting. So you are collecting data from social media like Facebook or Instagram or some other source, and you are getting the data and you start analyzing it. The powerful and the quality method is primary data because you are approaching the end user or the final user who is impacting. Secondary data is not that much quality compared to primary, but sadly we are always depending on secondary data compared to primary because primary is a time consuming as well as cost consuming, but companies cannot wait for primary data to be come. So generally we go with secondary data majority cases. The quality is little lower compared to primary data. Now before going to the actual stuff, let's try to understand, is it better for a children to start school at younger age or a older age? When I say younger age, maybe 2 to 4 years, and older age maybe 6 years, 5 to 7 years, you can say. Which one you say? Now assume that you are a data scientist for your prime minister in your country. Now your prime minister is trying to give a vote in next meeting that whether to start school at younger age or older age, 2 to 4 or 4 to 6. Which one you suggest as a data scientist? Team, unmute yourself. You may be right or you may be wrong. You are a data scientist. I'm your prime minister. I'm asking you, hey boss, let me know. Do I need to start my kids to? Do you want me to? Give a vote to my kids who are there in my country to start their education between 2 to 4 years or 4 to 6 years.
I'll go with the second option. Depends on all areas where the kids need to grow up and they need to have ability to understand what teachers are saying and so on the dependence on depend upon all the factors actually. I will go with second.
You will go with 4 to 6. Okay. And how about others? When you say 4 to 6, I have a word here. In India, generally the people start with between 2 to 4 years, right? Or 3 to 4 years, like PP1, PP2, LK. You call it as the LKG or UKG, so that they complete their education within the time and they will settle their career within the time, like 21 or 22 or 23. That is my answer. If you say the first one, like 2 to 4 years, my answer will be 5 to 6 years. People are enough IQ and enough mature, so they can grasp the subject properly. So either way, I'll debate with you.
Yeah, correct.
So the answer is, I am not expecting your opinion here. Here, my intention is importance of data. Anyone can come with any problem statement. It can be a prime minister or someone else. Ask the data which is recent past. So if I want to talk about education starting age, maybe 3 to 5 or 4 to 6 or 5 to 7, first I need to collect the data which is the recent past. That means in the previous generation, maybe my generation, if I'm a data scientist, just one generation before, collect the data who started their career at younger age and how far they settled in their career. Similarly, collect the data who started their career at older age and how far they settle in their age. If they settle in their age, in their career, that means they are positive, right? If they are not settled in their career, that means they are negative. Am I right? See the ratio, then propose, okay, boss, based on historical data, which is nothing but one generation before, I collected 50 citizens who started their career at younger age, and there's almost everyone settled in their career. But where it comes to older age, maybe 5 to 7 years, they haven't settled their career. Maybe 70% or 80% they settled in their career, but 30% they did not. So based on this data points, I can say that my suggestion goes to younger age or a older age based on your outcome. You got my point? That is called importance of data. No one is expecting a data scientist opinion. Data scientist never give his opinions. Data scientist always talks based on data points. Is it clear? Did I answer you? Maybe my answer is right when it comes to India. My answer may be wrong if it comes to US, because both are two different territories. Again, I'll cut the data in US and I'll start working with statistics. You got my point? Now, collect the data points, which is nothing one generation before, when they started their education, how far they settled in their career. If you know these points and the ratio, how many are settled, then you are good to answer your question. Now, there is a proverb in statistics, garbage in and garbage out. So garbage in and garbage out means if you're feeding something which is a garbage, the though you are expert in statistics, expert in programming language, the outcome is going to be garbage. You will try to understand this concept, garbage in and garbage out. Suppose it's not age distribution, average lifespan. You can say like this. Average lifespan. Suppose the chief minister who is ruling this Delhi, he wants to know the average lifespan of a person uh, who is living in Delhi. So he wants to know about. So he's very curious. So what we did here is the government, the Delhi government decided they they want to know the age distribution. So they hired one data scientist and they collected some data. So how they collected the data means the first 100 people who are walking to the Lodi Garden. Lodi Garden is one of the famous area in Delhi. So the first 100 people who are entering the Lodi Garden, they stopped them. They asked what is your current age. They said 60 years, 70 years, 30 years, 20 years, and 5 years, so on so. So the people who just entered into the Lodi Garden, they collected their age. Now, if I take the average of 100, it's coming as 53.2. Can I conclude the average lifespan of a person who is living in Delhi is 53.2? Can I say like this? The average lifespan of a person is 53.2. Think, think and answer. Do you want me to repeat the question?
Yeah, sure, please. Yeah.
So imagine wherever you're living right now, the territory minister is decided to take the lifespan of a person who's living in the territory, maybe in your city or a town or a village. So what he did is he visited the nearest park, which is a famous park, and he started collecting the first 100 people age. So the first person is trying to enter the park, and he just noted the first person who entered the park, his age is 70 years. When the second person entered the park, he noted the age as 50 years, and so on. So like this, first 100 people who entered the park, that is good. He took the age, and he's taken as a average. The average becomes 53.2. That means 53 years 2 months. So can I conclude, in your territory the average lifespan is 53 years 2 months? Can I conclude like that?
Uh, yeah, it depends on what's the requirement exactly. So, for example, if they're asking an average is, yeah, I can say okay. But if they want like what is the average percent on 70 is people 60, 50, then it's gonna be a different statistics actually.
Okay. So what I did here is I went to old age home, I went to a school, I went to shopping malls. Like now, the sample size is not 100; it's a 10,000 people now. Now again, the for the 10,000 people, the average is coming as 53 years 2 months. How about now?
Yeah, yeah. If they go with the average, yes, we can say it, yes.
But here the tricky here is garbage in and garbage out. You are very good how to calculate the average, but unfortunately, the data which is provided by the government to you is a wrong data, because they visited the park and they asked what is your current age. They said 70 years. Do you think that the person will die today? No, right? He can continue for another 5 to 10 years. And the second person mentioned 50 years. That means he's not going to die today. He's going to continue for another 20, 30 years. And they asked the kid who is a 5 years. So he can continue for aram say another 70 years. So where they supposed to correct the data means in government office, the birth and death certificate, that is going to tell you the duration. So when the person birth, when the same person died, that is going to give the lifespan of a person. Clear?
Yeah, makes sense. Got it. Thank you. Yeah.
So garbage in and garbage out means you are expert, you are number one data scientist in the world, but the data collection is wrong. So since the data collection is wrong, how many techniques you are applying on the data, the outcome is going to be wrong. You maybe you're supposed to get, if you take the right data, the lifespan may be 80. Since you apply the same techniques on wrong data, you are getting outcome as a wrong, which is going to be 53. You got my point, what I'm trying to say? Garbage in and garbage out. So you need to be very clear when you are getting the data, whether the data source is right or wrong. If the data source is wrong, you need to raise a red flag to your client saying that, hey boss, the data which is provided by you is a wrong one. Then you need to ask, okay, this is not the right data, and the data what you are expecting is a different one. If you tell that one, they'll start collecting the data and they'll provide to you, or at least they will provide you the data warehousing tables where you can get the data. Clear? Any questions from anyone? If no questions, I'll try to give some more theoretical knowledge called sampling techniques. So there are different type of techniques you are going to be used in your day-to-day life. So if you're coming back to the example what we discussed, like collection of 100 people randomly, who knows who is coming outside or inside to the park? We don't know. So randomly the people, 100 people visited the park. So out of 1 lakh people population within the Delhi or 10 lakh people population, I just selected randomly 10 people or 100 people or 1000 people. So this is called simple random sampling. So you have a bowl. In the bowl, you have 1000 nuggets. Out of 1000 nuggets, randomly you're selecting. You're putting your hand and you're taking randomly one nugget. That means all the nuggets which are there in bowl have equal priority to become as sample. Clear? That is called simple random sampling. Take simple random sampling. Simple random sampling means the population, whatever you have it here, maybe right now I have 10 population. Population means entire data. I want to pick up one. So randomly I can select anyone, right? Or right now I have 5 students in this call. So if I want to offer a job, I can give equal chances to all 5 people. That means 1 by 5. So that is going to be simple random sampling. Clear? Any questions? Simple random sampling. Okay. Is it clear or not?
Yeah, I
Simple.
understood, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Now let's call stratified sampling. Stratified sampling in the sense your stratified is not systematically. Let's take systematic. Systematic sampling. Systematic sampling means you are going to be follow a system to pick up the sample. I want to take 2 numbers. 2 people I want to collect out of this 10 population. I want to offer a job for 2 people. So if I randomly pick up, it's going to be simple random sampling. If I follow a system to pick up, that is going to be systematic sampling. In the sense, I'll close my eyes. The person who's sitting in the first seat is going to get a job. After that, skip 4 people, then pick up the next person. That means I'm skipping 4 people continuously. Then the 50th person is going to get an offer. Again, skip 4 people and pick up another person. That is going to be he'll get a job. So if I follow a system to pick up the sample, that is called systematic sampling. Not system, systematic. Any questions? Systematic sampling. I'm going to pick up 1. I'm skipping 2 points. Again, I'm taking other person. I'm skipping 2 points. I'm going to take another person. I'm skipping another point. I'm continuing here. That means in this sampling technique, I skip 2 people. So this is called systematic sampling. Any questions? Here. This is one technique which you can follow to pick up the data. Generally, during your, you may face or may not face during our child education time, when teacher was expecting to answer something, she randomly pick up all 30 students. She randomly pick up. That is called simple random sampling. If she in each bench she wants to pick up the first person, that is called systematic sampling. Any questions here? Okay. Any questions? If no, let me tell you one more thing. That's called stratified sampling. Stratified sampling means we are following a technique or a category to filter the data. For example, I am planning to nominate myself for MLA position. So what I'll do, I'll check how many population I have it. I realized in my location there are 1 lakh population. Is it possible for me to visit all 1 lakh people and ask whether will you vote for me or not? Not possible, right? Or let me take 10,000, 10 lakh people. Is it possible for me to visit 10 lakh people within my territory and ask whether will they vote for me or not? Not possible, right? When that is not possible, what I can do is I will take certain categories and filter the data first. That means this is also population to subpopulation, subpopulation to sample. So what are the categories are impacting elections, MLA elections or MP elections? Can I say a caste or religion first? Religion, Hindu. Don't take personally, it's just an example purpose. Muslim and Christian. Can I say like this? Say for example, in my area, all are equal. That means 33,000, 34,000, 3 lakhs 40,000 Hindus and 3 lakh 33,000 Muslims and 3 lakhs of how much? Rest 40,000 Christians are there. That means equally every religion people are living in my territory. There is no distinction here. Now, what I did here is the 10 lakh population, what are the data I have it here, I split it into 3 different parts based on religion. So how many people are living in Hindu, how many people are Muslims are living, how many Christian religions are living. So the religions are one of the influencer category for the elections. Can I say like this? The same population, 10 lakhs people, I divide into 3 different categories. This is also subpopulation. Now, don't you think that caste will also influence, or gender will influence, male and female? Male and female also will influence. If I, for example, I have an opponent and she is a female, don't you think that most of the female will vote will goes to her? See? And I have an opponent and he or she is a Christian, don't you think most of the Christian or Muslim votes goes to her? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir, correct.
So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking another category called the gender. The gender, I'm just checking out of 3 lakhs 40,000, how many males are there? For example, 1 lakh 20. Here also 1 lakh 20. Here 1 lakh 15. 1 lakh 15. So I divided my entire population of 10 lakh people into by region and by gender. If you feel the caste and other categories also influencing in your area, just do subdivide. This is nothing but hierarchical from single population to divided by sub categories. Once you have the category, then take as percentage of the sample. When I say percentage of sample, I'm just taking 1% or 0.1%. So for example, maybe 120 people here, 0.1 means 1%, let me take. So this is going to be 120 people. Here also 120 people. Here 115 people. Here 115 people. Here 120 people. Here 120 people. So what I did here is I have a population of 1,20,000. Out of that, I'm just considering only 120 people randomly. So from here to here, I follow system to do the sub split, splitting the population to subpopulations. Once I have the enough subpopulation, maybe if you have caste and other areas like affluent or middle class person or not, something like this, if you want to do different categories, once you finish all the categories, you have your population. When you sum this all this together, it is going to be your 10 lakh people. So each category just take 1%. That means out of 1,20,000, I'm just taking 120 people. Similarly, 1,20,000 for female, I'm taking 120 people, and so on. Now this is called a simple random sampling. Randomly I selected 120 people from this 1,20,000. Clear? I've not followed systematic here. First First I divided, then I took a sample. Now I'm randomly, once I collected, identified the people, 120 people, I start asking, will you vote for Amar? They may say yes or they may say no. Similarly, the female people also, I'll ask, will you vote for Amar? Out of 120 male, they may maybe 100 people are favor to Amar, so they said yes. And out of 120 people, maybe 50 people they said yes, because there are some opponent who is a female. And when it comes to Muslim, I have an opponent who is a Muslim, so majority of the votes goes to them. So I may get 30 votes out of 115. Here are also 30 votes. And I have an opponent who is a Christian, and she is a female. So majority of the female votes goes to them, and majority of the, I mean, since it's Christian religion, so they won't vote for me. So maybe 10 votes and 15 votes. So for 1%, which is going to be 1,000 people, out of 1,000 I'm getting 235 votes. So out of 1,000 I'm getting 235 votes. That means out of 1 lakh I'm getting hardly 23,000 votes. Or you got my point? Just multiplication. So approximately I'm getting 23,000 votes out of 1 lakh. Sorry, 2,35,000 votes out of 10 lakh. So when you say out of 10 lakh, I'm getting only 2,35,000 votes. That means it's not even half of the votes. That means the government may not issue the ticket for me. When I visited BRS or BJP or some Congress, next to me there are followers to me. They said yes, we vote for Amar, and I can say that Aramse I'll get 60 to 70,000, 6 lakhs to 7 lakhs votes for me. But in practically, I'll get only 2 lakhs votes. This way, I will not get deposit also. When I'm not going to deposit, the government may not issue the ticket. This is called stratified sampling. Any questions? Think? Are you good? Don't worry if you're not getting. Slowly we'll enter into each one. And the next one is called convenience sampling. When I say convenience sampling, we don't have any data here. So for example, you are planning to start a restaurant which is in a famous location, but you don't know what kind of food items generally go in the particular area. So if you don't know what you're supposed to do, you need to identify what are the food items generally the people like in the particular area, maybe in your territory. So if you don't know what you can do, you'll collect the data. That means if you go and ask the restaurant which is already existing, hey boss, I'm planning to start a new restaurant which is going to be a competitor for you. Can you let me know what are the items you are selling, fast selling items? Do you think that the person will entertain you? No, right? Whenever you said you are going to start a restaurant and telling to another restaurant person, do you think that the person will entertain you? Obviously, no. And you don't know what kind of items you have to sell. So that situation, you will engage a person and start monitoring uh, the restaurant and start collecting the data points. That means the person will go to the restaurant which is already existing and he will collect the data points. That means morning 6 o'clock, what are the items he's selling, or which are the fast moving products. Again, he will visit the 7 o'clock and he will collect the data point. Again, he will go on 8 o'clock, he will collect the data points, and so on. Like this, it will be repeated for 7 to 15 days, and he will collect the data points. Okay, so 6 o'clock morning breakfast, Indian South, and afternoon Chinese items, evening snacks, and snacks items are so and so. So he will collect so many data points. He will consolidate and share it to data scientist, and data scientist will gather all the points using some tool. He will understand, okay, these are the items you can sell as a menu in the morning time for breakfast, lunch so and so, and evening so and so. He'll give it to you, but unfortunately that is going to be bad sampling technique. Reason behind, the person who is visiting the restaurant, he's going a break of 1 hour. That means 6 o'clock he's going, 7 o'clock he's going, and 8 o'clock he's visiting, 9 o'clock he's visiting. But what is happening between 6 to 7? He doesn't know. What is happening between 8 to 9? He doesn't know. So since what is happening, the 59 minutes, he doesn't know. Who knows between the time he's selling something else. Morning also he's selling Chinese items. Who knows? So when there is no option for you to get the data from different sources, you need to generate the data from competitors. This is one of the technique which is proposed, but sadly this technique is already adopted by data scientists. The quality of the outcome is going to be pretty poor, I can say, because there are a lot of missing information you're going to have it. So what you do generally means, once you complete your analysis, when you're giving your data to your management, you will highlight, I'm taking interval of 1 hour. I don't know what has happened between 1 hour, 59 minutes between each hour. So you will be in safe hands. Clear? Any questions from anyone? Team? Any questions from anyone? If no questions, I'd like to tell you about the content what we are going to be cover from tomorrow. Whatever I covered is just a theoretical concepts, just to give a brush up. So the demo is completed in the past, and we are in serial number 2. So do not think about this hours. Hours is going to be changed depending on your understanding. So if you're not understanding, we'll continue with the same topic for some more time. So basic statistics, we're just entering tomorrow. We're not yet entered. The one which I covered today is just a theoretical understanding concept. Actually, we are starting session tomorrow. So till serial number 10, all basic statistics what we are going to be cover. With the help of your basic statistics, you do your EDA, exploited data analysis. During the demo, I explained you, we do EDA as a one task. After that, we'll do machine learning models. So serial number 2 to serial number 10, we are going to be cover EDA. After that, 11 to up to project description, whatever I have it here. Serial number 13, are all AI ML techniques. So maybe I haven't given the title name like a machine learning, but thing is the concepts are within the machine learning. Hope you understand. So these are concepts what we are going to be cover. Apart from all these concepts from serial number 2 to serial number 33, we are going to be cover in Python. Any questions?
Yeah, Amarnath, is this help for data analysis positions?
Data analysis is 1 to 10 is enough.
Oh, 1 to 10 is enough. Okay.
Data analysis and data analytics. When you say data analysis and analytics, depend on the company. They are good with Python, basic
Okay.
Python,
Mm-hmm.
and they may ask you some other tool, maybe GCP or AWS, like data engineering combination.
Okay.
And followed by, here you have Python coding, which is line number 34. You need to have end-to-end knowledge on that.
Okay. How many days it will take to complete the entire program?
Approximately 2 to 3 months, which I'm telling, plus or
Okay.
minus 15 days, depend on the person.
Ah,
So just for example, I might mention basic statistics as 2 hours, but in reality it may go for 3 to 4 hours also, depending on
okay.
your understanding.
Okay.
If you're getting some time to understand subject, there's no other point. I cannot go to other topic. We need to continue the same topic for some time. Still, if you're not getting, maybe after 3-4 hours also, if you're not getting, then I will park the topic there itself and will continue on the weekend, because I don't want to disturb others. So
Yeah,
2
okay,
hours
got
may
it.
go for 3 to 4 hours. Still, the person not understanding the concept. On weekend, we'll schedule and we'll continue the same topic for some more time. So that way, 3 to 4 hours. I mean, approximately 2.5 to 3 months you can consider. And if all people are comfortable, then weekends also will have the class. So that way we can reduce the timeline. So on weekends we'll go for 2 hours with some 10 minutes or 15 minutes break. So 4 hours we can consume there. That is the reason I was telling 2 months to 3 months. So we can reduce the timeline. Anyone have any questions? Sorry. If no questions, yes, yes, please.
I'm not I'm not having any knowledge on machine learning and all, but I'm a developer. I have some knowledge in Java and coding purpose. So how come these data scientists will help me in
So
changing my career or something else?
I'm assuming you are going to be a fresher to data science with zero knowledge. So the concepts, whatever I'm going to cover, I'll start from zero, like ABCD. Now coming back to address your question, in Python, we have different tools. So one of the tool is download based on Java. And now in the market, if you go to LinkedIn or Naukri, the person who has good knowledge on Python and Java are more entertained compared to only the Python. If you're coming to my example, I'm just Python, SAS, R and Weka, not Java. I have zero knowledge on Java. So compared to my profile, the other person who has a knowledge on Java and Python, they are more entertained persons.
Got it.
So,
And,
but and address I already addressed your question. We'll start from zero. That is the reason today I had a theoretical concept.
got it. So the concepts you are telling is enough to crack the interviews in future, Amar?
In
Or
terms of
we have any other?
AI, ML, yes. In terms of AI, ML concepts are good enough because these are the concepts which are available for AI, ML.
Okay.
If I mean data science and artificial intelligence is a ocean, there is no end for that. So if you want to develop something for forecasting or prediction, these concepts are good enough. And the case studies which I'm going to share, the same case studies, if you complete, then you can prove yourself that you are a data scientist and have a rich experience like 5 to 7 years. Those are real-time case studies, not downloaded from Google. These are Microsoft, DHL, HSBC, and I mean some POCs which I did in my previous company in Accenture. So if the same projects, you can say that you worked on those projects, not available in the Google or somewhere.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions from anyone? Thank you all. We will drop for the day and tomorrow we'll start in the actual class.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Where can I access the course recordings?